Computer, and we're on computers.
And you just. Start over.
Yes. Today is October 7th. The time is 7:05 p.m. This meeting of the Youth Commission is now called to order. My name is Carrie Wolf and I am the Vice Chair for the Youth Commission. This open meeting of the Northborough Youth Commission is being conducted in person and remotely, consistent with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. All members of the Youth Commission are allowed and encouraged to participate either in person or remotely. The Act allows the Northborough Youth Commission to meet entirely in person and remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded, so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is otherwise encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream or the recordings of this meeting may do so by going to Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting not feature public comment. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Erica Zeiger, here. Carrie Wolf, here. Ashley Carroll. Covenant. Give Ashley a minute and I can come back to her once she's logged in. Judy Boyle, here. Susan Ogre, here. Jennifer Persons, here. Joan Clementi. Joan won't be here tonight. That's right. And Ashley, are you able to check in now? Awesome.
Yes, I'm here.
Wonderful. Thank you. And staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Isabella Caruso, here. David Mitchell, here. Liz Nolan, yes. And Emily Clayton, here. We need to call Mary up. Even though she's not here, do we need to call the name?
I don't know if we need to call the liaisons. I mean, we can, but
And Mary Ellens will not be joining.
Mary Ellen will not be here.
Beautiful.
And for our youth liaisons, Allison, Jeremy, and Emma, they are obviously all here, and Arjun could not be here tonight, but he did let me know. No, I don't think we have to, but that's her. So, welcome everyone. We're so excited to have a full board. I think it's been a very long time since we had a full board. So welcome, we're excited. It's new for us, you know, since the merger of Health and Human Services, since Youth Commission and the Health Department merged. So this is exciting for us. I just wanted to go ahead and talk about some reports. So I have down school reports or youth commission introductions, reports and updates. So each meeting I'll ask for a school update, and typically that's Mary Ellen. And I'll ask the youth for an update. If there is no update, none is needed. So just if there's anything that's happened in the last month that you'd like to bring to our attention. Same thing with Mary Ellen. And anything else? Did everyone get the minutes? I know that there was the one correction, and I believe that was done. So I just wanted to go ahead and approve the minutes from September 2nd, 2025.
I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes. Awesome.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. The Youth Commission meeting minutes for September 2nd have been approved. On the agenda is civic engagement. However, since Emily is here and she's our guest speaker, I thought she could go before, and she's gonna tell you a little bit about Encompass and what the findings were, what they. So Encompass is, you know, that Metro West survey you guys have probably been filling out since junior high, since middle school. So she's gonna go over what the slides have said.
Okay, hi, I'm Emily Slavin. I'm the substance abuse prevention coordinator for North Front Southborough for the Encompass Coalition. I want to start and say that my mask makes you nervous. I'm sorry, I'm not sick. I'm trying to prevent getting sick.
Wedding is soon.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Exciting.
I just
yeah.
can't do that. So sorry. I'm gonna try to speak very loudly. If you can't hear me because you maybe like can't see my mouth or anything like that, just let me know. I'll try to speak louder. But my name's Emily. We're from Encompass. Just to start, if you aren't familiar with Encompass, who we are and what we've accomplished in the past year. So Encompass is a substance use prevention coalition, mostly focused on youth substance use prevention. We have a pretty significant focus on alcohol and nicotine prevention. A lot of that is because we are primarily funded by a grant called Drug Free Communities. It is a federal level CDC grant that is 5-year lifespan with the option to reapply for 10 years. So it's a very sustainable grant, and we get a lot of support from the federal level and from the CDC to really make evidence-based, data-driven decisions to kind of find local solutions to our local problems. So we're trying to figure out why North Front Southborough youth in particular might have substance use, might experience substance use problems, and try to find hyper local solutions for that to meet the kids basically where they're at. But in the past year, 2024 to 2025, we've done a lot. We've made 2 PSAs with Northborough Media and have sent 2 parent and caregiver postcards directly to anybody that said they had a child between 11 and 18 on the census in the past 2 years. So it was very focused on parents of middle and high school kids. We've done 4 large community events. We had a Screenagers showing, which is a documentary that focuses on how social media has changed substance use over the past 10-ish years. We brought Minding Your Mind to Athletic Night in the spring, which is a youth-driven speaking program that talks about mental health and substance use. We've done a youth leadership training this past summer that really used other peers from other communities that have experience bringing concerns to civic leaders and basically using their own voice to try to get attention to the issues that they care about. We had a leadership training on that. We've also done a lot of outreach. We've been at Be Well, a lot of outreach events, a lot of focus groups, a lot of surveys, a lot of data collection. Sorry guys, you probably are sick of it. But it is really important. We've done 20 Narcan trainings. We actually won a national award, which was really exciting for our small short-term outcomes for what we've been able to produce in our community. So we submitted an application for this award through CDC, and we were selected out of all the coalitions in the country. So that was really fun. We got to go to DC and accept it. That's the picture in the bottom corner. That's us. And we've interacted with over 4,000 residents so far. So we're really proud of how far this small coalition has come. But what you guys asked for tonight was an overview of the Metro West survey. So the Metro West Adolescent Health Assessment is the biennial, every 2 years, survey that the kids have to take in 8th and 10th grade. Yes, every year. Or every 2 long, yeah. So it's basically enormous. It results in 180-page report that we parse through, but I'm only gonna talk about substance use, but so a lot of really good information in it. Just to get right into it, this is kind of our current substance use over time. I will preface this whole presentation with that this is from 2023, so the data we're looking at is 2 years old. They're gonna be retaking it again this fall. And once that fresh data is in, we can do another update, see how things have changed. But if anything's seeming kind of out of date, it's probably because 2 years is a very long time when you are in middle and high school. a lot changes, and trends change very fast. So we have this overview, as we can see, post-pandemic, there was kind of a dip in all substances, which is good. That's not what was expected from a lot of people. A lot of people were worried that once students were back in school, we'd see a really strong spike in substance use, but that hasn't been the case so far. We're also not really reaching levels of pre-pandemic usage so far. So this is kind of an overview. We have cigarettes, EVP stands for electronic vapor products, so vapes, alcohol, marijuana, and then prescription drugs. And then we're going to go into specifically alcohol, nicotine, marijuana, and then perceptions of these three major drugs. Prescription drugs, it's not that they're not important, it's just that the kids in North and Southborough have very small percentage of use reported. So we're just going to go into the big ones here. But we have alcohol use by year, 30-day alcohol use and binge drinking. 30-day alcohol use, 30-day use is kind of the gold standard of what we use in substance use sciences, just because it's kind of the most recent look into what kids are regularly engaging with, and adults, it's kind of the standard that we use for all of the demographics. But we can see that in 2021 to 2023, 30-day use went down and binge drinking went down a little bit. And that's good. That's great. We love to see the decrease. And we'll see what 2025 brings. But then we have reported access to alcohol by sex, male and female. This data is really interesting. It follows a major trend that we're seeing of, for the first time ever, girls are using all substances more than boys. They're just reporting higher rates of alcohol, nicotine, marijuana, prescription drug, any substance really, except for cigarette usage, is going up in girls and going down in boys. So we're seeing a very big discrepancy emerge between females and males. This is reported access, so it's kind of hard to see. If it was bigger, that would be better, but it's received at a party, from a friend, not at a party, from home with parental permission, from home without parental permission, and then given to them by someone over 21. So all of the access points are more popular among females and males, but the biggest discrepancy is that from a friend, not at a party. So trying to figure out, a lot of our focus groups focus on those differences and what it means when students read that and how they kind of perceive that question and why we see that huge discrepancy. The same trend follows for nicotine. We did see a decrease in past 30-day use and lifetime use for electronic vape usage by year. You can see there's a little bullet at the bottom. Cigarette usage remains low. 2.7% of high school students participate in past 30 days. If students are using nicotine, it's either in oral nicotine pouches, which are going to be on the serving for the first time this year, or vape usage. So there's not a lot of cigarettes. It's good. But there's a lot of vaping and a lot of oral nicotine pouch usage. So we're going to see that for the first time this year, and that'll be interesting to compare, but we did see a decrease, which is awesome. Overwhelmingly, kids are accessing these by giving them by a friend. When we talk to kids in focus groups about this, a lot of them said that one friend will find a way to get it, either usually on Snapchat or from someone that's older and willing to buy from them, and then they'll share it amongst the friend group. So there's a lot of sharing. That's concerning in many ways, but like it's a lot of like sharing among the group, and so that's what a lot of them took it as when they read on the survey given to them by a friend. That's what they said they took it as. And the biggest discrepancy we see by sex for EVPs is took them from a person or store. So that does mean taking without permission, so that's a little bit concerning, but it's a small number, it's a small difference between males and females. It's definitely not as pronounced as alcohol. So when we talk to students about where they're accessing it, we don't really have to worry as much about differentiating it by girls and boys. And just talk to them as a group. And then marijuana use goes up extensively as the kids age. So as do most substances, we usually see a jump in 10th grade. Kids feel a little bit more comfortable by sophomore year. They have an established friend group. They're a little bit more willing to take risks and branch out in things that they think they should be trying to experience. So we see that jump with marijuana use from 1% as 9th graders to 22% as seniors. And then again, following pattern, girls are using more than boys in past 30-day use. Again, this is all percentage of Algonquin students. And then perceived risk, this is a really important kind of point that gets lost a lot when we talk about substance use. A lot of times we talk about use rates and we talk about trying to figure out like, oh, does it relate to mental health? Does it relate to this factor, this factor? A lot of what we have to address is the perceived risk of these substances. So what's in it for kids that they are measuring, using it as a greater reward than a risk. So the survey does assess this. Now the standards are a little crazy. 5 drinks or more, a lot. So I think most people would say 5 drinks or more of alcohol a week is a moderate or great risk, even if they were an adult. So I think that that is an interesting standard, especially when a lot of kids aren't having that much alcohol. But a lot of that, 83% did assess that as a moderate or great risk to their health. For EVPs, it's just using EVPs as a moderate or great risk to health. 91% of students said that they agree with that. And then for marijuana, it's using marijuana once or twice a week. It's a moderate or great risk to health. So a lot of kids agree that nicotine or EVPs are a risk to their health. So trying to bridge that gap between, okay, you know that this is a risky thing to use, you know it's bad for you. What is going on where you still are engaging in this behavior? So
So this would be everybody that responded, not just those that said they participate or don't.
yes, so this is student wide. It's 972 students for this point. That took the survey. So this is out of all those 972 students, 91% agree that EVPs are moderate to great risk to health. Then we see greater percentage of that, not a greater percentage than 91%, but a greater percentage than 9% using it. So where can we, fill that gap? Where can we address that educational point? Where can we talk to them to make them see that, hey, this risk isn't really worth it? And that's all the data. I know that was a lot of data, but if you have any questions, we can go through it point by point or substance by substance, whatever you guys have questions about. If you guys have something you'd like to say, love to hear it. But yeah, that's kind of what Encompass does. We're always trying to build more bridges with the community and build more in our youth coalition. So yeah. So
I have a question,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's just because I'm kind of coming in new, or does Encompass, do you do this with other regions or communities in the state? And then compare and contrast against, or is it mostly just Northborough, Southborough?
So this survey is through Metro West Health Foundation, so it's not a survey that we administer. It's just a survey that we use the data, so Metro West Health Foundation, I think it's like 25 towns in the Metro West area, so Westboro to like. Yeah, I think Rentham is like, it's a pretty wide range, and it's geared after the CDC risk behavior survey. Yes, and it's so it's through Metro West, and then the Education Development Center, EDC, is the one who kind of forms all the questions.
yeah. And they also have a data point where they take Algonquin stats and they compare it to Metro West. So you can see kind of how the school district is comparing to the average student in the region. Which on almost every substance use statistic, Algonquin is using less than the Metro West region, I think, except for alcohol. By one specific grade or something like that, like it was a very small discrepancy. Yeah.
And they make sure that it's statistically correct so that we're comparing apples to apples.
Yes, so the data is cleaned
Yeah.
before it's released, so they remove outliers, they remove, it's an anonymous survey,
Mhm.
but the surveys are cleaned both question by question across the spectrum and throughout the whole individual taking it. So if they're looking through an individual's survey and the answers are all over the place and not adding up to the same person, that survey is gonna be removed from the count.
Okay.
So we always try to say like, this is a very high fidelity survey. It's a very well conducted survey, so a lot of times people will be like, well, teenagers lie. And I resent that. That's not true. And that's like assuming a lot. But it's also assuming that that EDC does this to clean the data.
So what do you think? Does that ring true?
Does anything surprise you?
Yeah.
It kind of surprised me, like the alcohol, like I expected like the vape numbers to be higher.
Yeah.
definitely, but I'm surprised like the alcohol especially being as high as it is.
You expected the vape numbers to be higher, like you expected more students or a higher percentage to be using the vapes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's a big thing we focus on is social norms campaigns, so really trying to educate students and parents and adults. Like, this is how many students are using, so it's actually not everyone. Sometimes if you go to the bathroom or you see the same person, it can feel like that is what is going on, but in actuality, it's only whatever number, 10% who are using, so I think that is like, again, to your point, like finding those educational like pieces and where can we do intervention, it's kind of that area. That gray area.
yeah, and I also feel like we hear, because we try to do, this is called quantitative data, numbers, and then we try to do qualitative data, which is more like. I hate to say quality, that's how I remember it, but like, it's more like the qualities of the people that are participating, so like. We'll do focus groups with the students, and we even did one that was like female students only, because we were trying to address that gap and see like, hey, why do you think substance use is increasing in girls across the nation? It's not just it's not just Algonquin, it's not just Massachusetts, it's across the nation. And so we were trying to address that, and I think sometimes you get these little really insightful pieces on like, especially the vaping, like, well, I don't think that the number is accurate because every time I go to the bathroom, I see someone vaping. So it can be really difficult to kind of meet the dissonance between like, every time I'm seeing these people vaping, and yet you're telling me no one vapes. Trying to address that of like, well, is it always the same group? Is it a friend group? Is it always the same two people? Is it always the same person offering you it? Something like that, trying to address that. But it's also hard because these are the kids' lived experiences, and we're not trying to discount that.
Yeah.
So we're like, yes, if you see that, like 100%. We don't want the data to make you feel like you're not living what they say.
And you said that the trend is for girls to be using more, and that's throughout the, I guess, country.
Yes, yeah, so what would you say, probably around 2020, 2019? The numbers for girls, it's always been, for as long as the United States has been administering the Youth Risk Behavioral Survey, which is the one the CDC does, boys have always used every substance more than girls. For whatever reason that may be. But in 2019 to 2020, maybe even early, maybe 2018, things started shifting, girls started becoming even with boys, and then girls started surpassing boys, and now we're seeing quite a difference between girls and boys using. When we did the focus group, a lot of the reasoning among the girls was high pressure, high stress, a lot of mental health, a lot of social media. There's a lot of different reasons. A lot of them were like, well, the boys aren't telling you the truth. So that was tough. But
Next up is the boys only.
yeah, we do want to do a boys only focus group. Be like, what do you think? You think there is like compare the responses?
But there's so many different ways you can cut that data, you know, what do they
Yeah.
participate in, extracurricular, and.
Yeah.
Down a huge path there.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and every time we do another focus group or another survey, there's like another little like nugget where we're like, oh, this actually makes it more confusing. Like, let's dig deeper into that, but it's hard because we don't want to over survey the kids. We don't want to over focus group because we do get Arrow gift cards every time you do it though. So if you see the sign, if you see the flyers, I know. But yeah, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there other subgroups that the data can hold for? And so I heard, the age or well, the grade and of course male and female, but were there any others that stood out as something? If you get the time and space.
Yeah, LGBTQ students is another one that stands out a lot in our data. At a lot level. So our populations of focus were students who identify as female and LGBTQ students.
Any other questions? Thank you, Emily.
Yeah. No problem.
So when's the wedding?
Next Saturday.
Oh, right. Yeah, you need to stay healthy.
Yeah, so, you know, how it is. Just.
I forget how it is.
Thank you, Emily, we appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if you guys have any questions,
Everyone has a brochure, they should, so there's about who we are, what we do, the steering committee, and then resources, information, Emily does quarterly newsletter, so lots of ways to get involved.
yeah, and you can sign up for.
And she's on Instagram, right, and Compass is on Instagram.
Yes, and Thomas is on Instagram. I run it, so it's not good. I wish we had like, some of the coalitions have like social media people and then they have these awesome Instagrams, so I'm like, this is so embarrassing.
Ask for an intern. Ask for
I know,
for
I
an
know.
intern.
The youth coalition is,
Yes, yeah,
you know,
yeah, so we do have a youth coalition, if you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, we have a youth coalition, we meet once a month. For school starts, usually from like 7:15 to 7:45 in the morning, I bring munchkins.
At the high
And
school,
at the high school, yep, and
And is it it's can be freshmen through?
no, we would love freshmen,
I
we're
know,
trying,
that's
all
what
the
I'm
students
thinking.
right now are seniors, so
Yeah.
we're trying to
Yeah.
recruit. We're trying to plan more recruitment activities, but the most recent project one of our students did is they interviewed a lot of students for what we call a Know Your No campaign, so know your reason for saying no to substances, and she created this really great carousel on Instagram. Compiling a lot of reasons why students all around would choose to stay substance free. And it was really great, it was really impactful, and she did a great job with it, so if you're interested in like social media.
Or any
reading help,
siblings, do you have any siblings that may?
Yeah. or like health education. Anything like that. You start with some. Let me know, cause I'd love to hear you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you so much,
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you,
it.
thanks for having me.
Alright, so the next thing is civic engagement. Perry had mentioned at our last meeting on how to go about getting the community more involved, or specifically the youth more involved in community. What is it, community boards, community volunteering, just, I guess, being more present in the community. So we were just kind of brainstorming some ideas for that. One of the things that we came up with was trying to reach out to the 8th grade, because that's the year they do the civics. They do the civics education, so that was one idea, just to see if they would. I know they're so busy, so it would be really difficult to get time to go in there and speak to the classes. But even if we could do with the, like a public campaign, maybe cable network would work, or what is it now?
Northborough Media Connection.
Northborough Media Connection might be able to work with us just to encourage that. What else?
I know someone there that teaches a self-class at Julie Moranci.
Yes,
That she might be able to be a good person to connect with, to integrate into her. subject
Yeah.
matter.
yeah, I know Julie too, so I
She's
can
great.
reach out, yeah, I can reach out to Julie, or if you wanna reach out to Julie, yeah, we can,
Julie's at Milliken?
Julie Moranci, she
Yeah.
was a guidance counselor, if your kids went there.
It rang a bell, I suppose.
Yeah.
She was.
Now, 3 or 4 years ago, she switched over and became
Yeah.
a teacher for substance.
We didn't have it.
Without no.
Is it like a social emotional?
I think so, yes, it's a social emotional
Yeah,
program.
yeah,
But
so
that
that,
might be an interesting way to integrate.
that would be a great way, and Julie's great, so, one of the things that we were saying is, you know, maybe we could get something going and some information before the April town meeting. Cause that's an event we could kind of highlight and say, you know, these are, you know, this is how our government makes different rules and regulations, and I was thinking one of the select board members could come and maybe give a speech or like a video. So just some different ideas for that. Anything else? I think we could kind of to amp up.
I know in high school, is there a civics class?
See, I don't think,
Yeah.
no.
It might not be called civics, I do know last year it was around spring and I got like 10 emails from students asking me to help them with their civics project, so there's something.
Something,
Or maybe
there's
it's middle
something.
school, maybe,
There are end of year civics projects, like the one you do in 8th grade.
okay, so
You
maybe
do it-
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I did it in AP World last year. I don't know if it's in any of the other history classes. And there's a government class as well.
Oh, yeah. So that might be a good idea too, but I do know there
Yeah,
was
that
a
would
lot
be-
of back and forth, they were reaching out to a lot of like local government, trying to
would-
get some more information.
It would be great to hit the seniors because many of them are gonna be 18 the next election. So that could be something we look into. I can find a point of contact at Algonquin. And then maybe even, we always say Algonquin, but we really do wanna reach out to Assabet, St. John's. It's just much harder to connect with them. So, but we can definitely try to reach out to them as well. And then I do know, I don't know the connection, but I can try to find it, there's also a homeschool. That they might be the ones we could go into and kind of see what they think, because they're more flexible in their schedule, so, so you'll reach out to
I'll
Julie?
reach out to Julie.
Okay,
Yeah.
that'll be perfect, and then I'll try to find someone at the high school, probably maybe the social studies chair.
Who was the AP Gov, who was your AP Gov teacher last, or your?
My AP Gov teacher is Mr. Kellett, but the chair is yes,
Birds.
Ms. Burns, yes.
Oh, okay, yes.
She's the senior class, that was
Brittany,
Yes,
Brittany, yes, and your emails, yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, perfect, yeah. That would be great,
So many connections in this room.
amazing.
So the question the topic was civic engagement,
Yes,
so. Like for Jen and our youth liaisons, what would the question be, like? What's the question they're going to
I
ask?
don't know if it's necessarily a question, it's more of an information campaign to, do they know that? Do they know that there's these organizations available to them?
Okay,
Do they, know that how we run, the town meeting and just providing that type of things for them? Do we know, the 18-year-olds are gonna get ready to vote? Do they know? Do they know, how you go about doing that to register to vote?
A couple of years ago, there was two, maybe three seniors or juniors spoke at the town meeting about the new fields. They gave like
Yeah.
a personal, which was super interesting,
Yeah.
first time I've ever seen that,
Yeah.
so I don't know how that came about, I probably their coach or
Yeah.
parent or figured out,
Yeah.
I don't think they figured it out themselves probably, but anyways, that was so cool to see them get up there and
Yeah.
like actually say, this is something in the town that matters to me and here's why, and so then great if we can encourage more,
That, yes, because if you've gone to a town meeting, it's an older group,
yeah, for sure.
so just trying to get more.
That was part of my actual original
She
thought
Karen brought
process.
it up, yeah.
So I was trying to think about just a different spin on not even youth programming, but something that we can do, because all of this, while kids can't become a voting member until the age of majority, right? They still can influence everything that the town is doing, the resources. And so I think it's great that you guys are here, and I also know that, like, I just firmly believe any way that we can say more people, more youth deserve to be involved and have valuable insight, right through to, I mean, we can keep bribing them with gift cards, but also if they wanna listen to the meetings because it's online, or if they wanna show up, because they're allowed to be at town meeting, anyone is allowed to be there, just, I think there's a gap.
Yeah.
That
There's a big
idea,
gap.
yeah, and so
There's a big gap.
I think that's a really interesting point, because I also come from a very different world of town meeting where in New Hampshire, where the school budget is debated in a very different manner, and I was more used to youth showing up to really also passionately have to justify a budget passing. So a very different scenario, but like there were kids saying, here's what matters, like here's in the budget. And there are some younger folks there, but it's an older group. Most towns are held up by older
Yeah.
volunteers right now. That was kind of my like broad thought process, yeah.
And just piggybacking on what Carrie said, I'm on another town committee in town here called the Master Plan Implementation Committee. And we take the master plan that was written a few years ago and we identified what the residents said they wanted in the master plan. What can we do in town to improve our town? You know, it's a lot of it is make downtown more walkable, all those things we're hearing over and over again. But one specific area of our conversations is what can we do with the kids at Melican who get out on a half a day or not and just kind of congregate downtown, right? So this is a common theme that it's like, okay, why don't we let them have a voice? What would they like to see happen? You know, I mean, just because they're not on a committee or not old enough to vote, they can be part of the conversation, you know, and that they know that there are people like ourselves that are like, we want to know, what do you want? You know, when we're not guaranteeing you're going to get it. But baby steps. So this conversation doesn't have to leave, you know, it should absolutely cross all age categories at every age, you know, and that's really a hot topic, that age group. You guys were there not too long ago. It's like, wouldn't you like to have a, you know, community place or whatever? You know, all these things we talk about all the time, you know, of course, it's, you know, money and buildings and things like that.
Yeah.
So, I love this, you know, get the conversation going, not just with the people that, not just with the grown-ups. But
Well, and what a way to
encourage
them
everybody to
use
have a
their
voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
What,
is it what, and what a way, what a
To
great
encourage.
way to encourage them to use their voice.
that, exactly. It's like, you know, we look, you know, can't guarantee we're gonna, you know, give you a big fancy whatever, but, if you know, come get active and help us and, you know, identify grants, things like that. How can we make some of these things happen? And, you know, the more people that are part of the conversation,
Yeah.
and look at all the connections we just made right
Right
here,
there,
you know?
yeah.
Just, so this is, very, very exciting start to,
I think
it's not a start, but
Yeah, continue it, yeah. Yeah, perfect, thank you. Director's report?
Yes, of course, I'll keep it brief. So first, I usually talk about service utilization, so basically the residents that are coming into our office. So we had 4 new referrals, 1 returning referral, so 5 individuals coming into the office. There were 10 that we were working with in August that were transferred, continued over into September. So overall, we had 15 case navigation cases in the month of September. Most of them were looking for, you know, the requests vary, but a lot of housing, utilities, and legal assistance. So we do our best to provide resources and then navigate them through kind of what they're going through. We had lots of outreach, thanks to Lynn and all of you. Thank you all so much. We really couldn't have been at all of the elementary schools or, you know, been at Fest for the entire day. So in September, we went to every elementary school open house. We went to the middle school open house. We attended the Apple Fest vendor fair. Extra shout out to Helping Hands for letting us use their table. Liz and I attended community meals at Trinity Church, and then Liz also attended the Vietnam Veterans Dinner last weekend. Program updates, Caitlin hosted her first QPR suicide prevention training on the 23rd. There were 6 residents, which was great.
That is great.
Yes. And right now, we're in the process of meeting, so it kind of bleeds into October, we're in the process of meeting with all of the Northborough schools, so all of the elementary schools, the middle school and the high school. We're going with FSP, which is the school's mental health kind of contractual service. So Caitlin and I have been going. Basically, we're asking, what are you seeing? Here's who we are, how can we collaborate, what else can we help you with? So one of those meetings resulted in collaborating with FSP to offer a small group at one of the elementary schools. So looking for more opportunities like that.
What does FSP stand for?
Family Success Partnership. Girls United is our small group girls mental health program at Melican. It starts on Thursday. There are 10 girls registered and 3 on the wait list. Again, very excited, hoping to see how that goes. Caitlin is all ready with her curriculum and hoping to offer that in the spring. So that was an outcome of receiving donations through the pickleball tournament. So we were coordinating with Rec, Melican, and us. And another exciting update is we're launching a lunch and learn webinar, so I'll have Liz talk a little bit more about that, but that is upcoming on October 28th.
So we, always are looking to reach the community and residents a little bit more and letting them know what our services are. Even through September, all of our outreach, whether it was Apple Fest or at the schools, a lot of people don't know what we do still. So that's an ongoing process. So we thought we would do a lunch and learn webinar or type of informational thing once a month. And each one would give just some insight into what we do. So the first one is on October 28th, and it's resource navigation 101. So we'll just talk about different applications that we can help residents fill, whether it's for food assistance, rent assistance, heating assistance is the big thing now too, since it's gonna get colder, and that keeps us busy for those applications. A lot of residents don't know these programs exist. They want to make sure that they are aware of it. And then that we can help them fill out these applications along the way. So we're hoping, we're gonna record it, but our hope is that we get a couple people on the other side too, watching with us. Just in case that you know anybody who needs the service or wants to learn a little bit more, pass along the information. So that we're excited about that.
Yeah, and our goal is really to do these lunch and learns across the department. So some will be very applicable to you all. Some will be more applicable to the Board of Health, like maintaining your septic system. So really trying to balance, for those of you that know it, like we do from food inspections, septic inspections to mental health and substance use. So we have a wide ranging department that keeps us all very busy. But that is just a goal of also getting to the community, but also understanding the wide range of the services that we offer. And that would be also another great way if anyone has any topic suggestions. 12 months is a long time, so we have to fill those months. So if you have any ideas, we would love those as well.
Absolutely. Couple of other things that are coming up for October is October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, as well as Health Literacy Month. So you'll see on whether it's the newsletter or social media, we're trying to kind of pull a lot of information out on both of those as far as resources and what it means. Thursday, October 16th is Wear Purple Day, which is to bring awareness to domestic violence. We also have a bloodmobile coming up on October 21st, and at last check, all the spots were actually filled, which I am shocked because it's 2 weeks early. So I actually have to have a message out to the contact at the Craft Center of Blood Donors, just because it's like, okay, 10 spaces like disappeared in a very short period of time. I want to make sure it's on the computer. But so if they were all filled, it's 51 spots, which is pretty exciting. And that is going to be at the library parking lot. And we're also planning to, in November, we're planning to present at the Northborough Junior Women's Club. So we're excited as well. And we're just also, looking for any organizations that we can attend. We're more than well, able to go and just share information and let them spread the word of what we can do. We have some messages out again to the Northborough Southborough Special Ed Parent Advisory Council. We had talked to them last spring, but they changed their board a little bit, so we have to be with them to see if we can get into one of their meetings. And Trinity Church has a WISE group, it's called, and it's like their health and wellness. Right?
Mental health, wellness. Around that.
Yeah, focus. So we met them and we're hoping to be able to connect with them as well. And they reach a lot of different people.
I was gonna mention book club. Book club we had last month, 6 people attended and we have 7 spots still available. So 8 people registered for book club this month. So upcoming, and that's on the 28th. So talking about the anxious generation.
Which is a hot book. So we're hoping to get a lot of people into the big meeting room at the library, right?
Yes, we're usually in the teen adult program room, but this time due to having to switch around the date for book club. We had to schedule the bigger room, the meeting room downstairs. So.
To summarize, because my brain is in health, it is flu season, so we had our drive-through flu clinic on Saturday. A bunch of us and actually 8 high school volunteers helped us out. We vaccinated 213 people, and then we have another town hall clinic on the 14th. So right now we have 50%.
That's great.
I heard there was gonna be one coming through now, is that true?
We're on it. We're trying to see if we still have enough vaccine.
Oh,
I know, busy this year.
I'm
We're
sure,
trying.
yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
Liz, anything else from outreach?
We'll be at Trunk or Treat at the senior center, on the 23rd. So come on back, get your candy. But I think that is a lot of what we've been working on.
Yeah.
September was really
Very
busy.
busy.
Yeah, which is great. It's great to be out in the community and share all of our information, just meet with the different people.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I have a question for you. What's it, what's called Girls?
Girls United.
And you said there's 10 members and 3 on a wait list.
Yes.
So just out of curiosity, is 10 a number that you felt was manageable?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, just
okay.
because anyways, like, it's better to have a smaller group and get that culture, and again, we do hope like those 3 on the wait list, hopefully we can figure out to give them a chance to sign up for the next kind of round through, but I think usually smaller groups, you get a better dynamic, and then they build a stronger relationship, and it is a 6-week program. So it is still like short term, not really long term, but I think smaller groups are a lot better and then also manageable for
Yeah.
me too. But I think the dynamics are a lot different than a bigger group where somebody can feel a little bit lost still in a big group dynamic, where smaller groups, you can focus a little bit more or talk to them, pull aside if need be. So I think that's kind of the choice around it. But then like you don't wanna have too small of a group, so I think 10 is kind of the sweet spot of a number.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we said, we kind of hope to continue it again in the spring, allowing more girls to have an opportunity to be able to go through the program. And also this is just our first one, so we'll see what works with the curriculum and what sticks and go from there and hopefully improve it as we go along. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, we're starting our first introduction week. And the theme is identity, so something to look forward to. But yeah, a lot of the weeks will be about, I know we talked about this in the last meeting too, so a lot of weeks are like feelings, healthy communication, building empathy. I always forget week 2 for some reason, but I have some theme to go along to kind of build on each other. And then our final week, just kind of a reflection of what we have done and anything that they learned, and try to make it a fun transitional activity. So yeah, that's kind of our focus over these next couple of weeks, but yeah, that's kind of.
And you're still at the library on Tuesdays?
Yes, I'm still at the library. I was there today, so I'm there from 3 to 5 every Tuesday. In the teen adult program. So anybody can come by and talk with me. I have all of our resources, all of our calendar events of what we're doing, our newsletter there with me. I try to set up 2 chairs. I can close the door, keep it confidential. If need be, the librarians do try to point to people where I am because sometimes I get a little lost. But yeah, so for instance, I think I try to keep just the number of people that come in, like we had 2 individuals in September into the office for various topics. So but just to be there as a resource. And then if somebody comes in from another town, because I know a lot of towns kind of visit different libraries, I try to direct them towards those local resources that they want to.
Thank you.
Not leaving them hanging,
No.
but also unfortunately can't offer too much, so.
But you can at least give them a phone number.
Or just a direction to go.
Yeah.
Which has happened, but and then that's how I met some other community organizations too, just through the job.
Great.
I have a question for the director's report. Are any of your programs, resources you tap into, or anything else in the community that you're often led to at risk of losing some funding until the is open?
I don't think we've seen that yet. I'm thinking Snap and Quick primarily. We haven't had anyone come in and say that. I think our number 1 would be helping hands the emergency fund. If there were a specific situation. Yeah. You know, like,
No, it was when you said that running out of vaccines,
Yeah.
I was thinking about, is the system even available to order more? Yeah, things like that.
yeah, so we get our vaccine through Salmon VNA.
Oh,
It's
okay,
through our
yeah.
Greater Boroughs Partnership for Health, so it's a little different. We don't have like.
Yeah, I think Liz and I have been following, like there's a SNAP coalition that I think a lot of communities and agencies are a part of, which they try to give a lot of up-to-date information about what are we seeing in the political realm, and also how does it apply to Massachusetts as well, just to be informed. And like at first we have the food pantry, and we can try to brainstorm with people or point them towards, like, I know financial literacy is also a thing too. It's important, everyone should do it, everyone should be informed. I view that, but we are trying to stay as informed, and I think what Smock said, their heating program is fully funded in that meeting.
Okay.
For the year,
For this season.
for this season, for this, like, they have a pre-approved. I think they were saying that in our meeting.
So SNAP is
SNAP is
food stamps,
yes.
or food assistance. Does that include WIC?
But it's a separate program.
WIC is, okay.
Women
So-
infant,
Yeah, Women in Future, okay.
so it's 2 separate applications.
Okay.
Yeah, and like,
You kind of, you could qualify for both.
Yeah,
If you have a child under.
yeah, so not many people think you can only apply to one, but applicable for SNAP and like for kids under 5, but once they turn 5, something like that.
oh, yeah.
I know that's usually the gap where parents are struggling or scrambling to try to figure out that supplemental income right there loss. But yeah, I know we're trying to keep as informed about anything, but I think it's still, very much up in the air and just waiting on certain things. But usually I feel like the DTA has been pretty informing people, and sending out letters for, I know there was there a wave of people that, I forget, those were mostly like not families, like single adults,
Able to work.
able-bodied to work. That's kind of in this initial wave. I think right now, I don't think we have seen any or heard of anything impacting specifically more families or households with minors.
Ashley, did you have any questions? Did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, this has been really informative and great to listen in on. I also I know Brittany Burns personally, so that was another connection. I was like, oh, that's so funny. But
Oh, no, okay, yeah, I mean, maybe I'll reach out and you can.
Yeah.
Chat about that.
yeah, no, this has been a great first like information session for me too about everything that we're gonna be involved with.
Great, thank you. Any other business or any agenda items that you can think of for the next meeting? You can mention them now, or you can email them to me if there's anything else that you'd like to see. Just let us know and we can add that to the agenda. But before I move on, anything else anyone wanted to add?
I just want to get some clarification on number 1 on the agenda item for tonight, Erica. You read it and then, is this something, will this be a recurring number 1?
Not necessarily,
And
so,
if there's something to report, this is your opportunity.
yes, so, yeah, so, and I was reading it, so typically we'll do a school report. And that's usually Mary Ellen. And then the youth can do a report, they don't have to, that would be if there's something. Yeah. Something that maybe we just don't know about or bring up.
Does that make sense to you guys? Like if you hear of something, I'm still learning about the open meeting process, which is actually a law. So there's like certain things you can't discuss outside of this
But they can,
open meeting.
they can,
Yeah, yeah.
As long as it's not a quorum of the board,
yeah,
but you guys don't count for the.
yeah,
you're not
so.
voting members.
So like one thing would be, I know that the winter wall is coming up. I know that it's at a new location. And that might be, will alcohol and vaping go up? Have you heard anything about that? Just to kind of add some into the conversation, or any other like new classes that might come out or new groups that you think would blend in, but you don't have to, don't feel like you have to find something to discuss too. And anything else, Judy?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I said, but I'm learning and I wanna make sure they understand that if they do have a question. And I wanna know the answer, if any one of you had a question, you would reach out to you, that's okay.
Or Isabella too, or really
Oh, of
any,
course,
yeah,
of
any of
course.
the staff.
Yeah,
Anyone,
yeah.
yeah, I'm happy to.
All right, okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Let's just quickly look over the meeting dates. So November 4th, 7:00, we'll be here. December 2nd, and we'll be here, and then we don't have to decide tonight, but I'm thinking maybe we skip January. We're just getting back to school after the holidays, so like again, we don't have to. We can talk about it at next meeting, but I thought it might be nice to just be able to ease back into the new year and the school year, so. So that was it. And if there is nothing else, we can call the meeting to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Everyone in favor? Thank you, Terry.
You.